Jackie Chan said no to Bruce Lee's fighting style. But why? The truth might surprise you, and it's not what most people think. There's a popular video saying that Jackie Chan refused Bruce Lee's technique, but they're missing some crucial information. The truth is, there's more to this story than what you might have heard, and in this video, we're going to uncover what really happened and set the record straight. Hey, you've heard the myths, now let's discover the truth. So stay with me to unravel the real story behind Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee's martial arts legacies. What's up, y'all? My name is Prince, and this is Goldenbell Training, where we dive deep into the world of martial arts legends and their incredible stories.
And every day, I practice martial arts. You see?
Martial arts cinema has shaped global pop culture, and at the heart of this genre are two legends, Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan are undeniably the two most influential figures in the martial arts film genre. While they shared a love for martial arts and a desire to showcase their skills on the big screen, their impact on the genre took distinctly different paths. They both revolutionized the way martial arts was portrayed on screen, but their journeys were as different as their styles.
My last name is Lee, Bruce Lee. I was born in San Francisco in 1940. I'm 24 right now.
Bruce Lee's journey in martial arts was far from traditional. After returning to the United States from Hong Kong in 1959, Bruce quickly realized that the Wing Chun techniques he had mastered back home needed adaptation. He was now training with larger, stronger individuals, which led him to start making modifications to his fighting style. This period of experimentation and growth laid the groundwork for what would eventually become Jeet Kune Do. Bruce often sought out fights, not just to win, but also to test his evolving techniques. He was known to visit the most dangerous parts of Seattle, like Rainier Valley, specifically to engage in street fights, honoring his skills in real-world situations. These experiences, along with a critical fight against karate instructor Yuichi Nakachi and the infamous Wong Jack Man fight, highlighted the limitations of Bruce Lee's traditional martial arts training. Bruce realized that he needed more effective footwork, better conditioning, and a fighting philosophy that was simple, direct, and efficient. This eventually led to the creation of Jeet Kune Do, which Bruce Lee described as scientific street fighting. Jeet Kune Do was revolutionary because it broke away from the rigidity of traditional martial arts, favoring practicality over tradition. Unlike the origin stories of some kung fu styles, which were often shrouded in mythology and spiritualism, Jeet Kune Do was born from Bruce Lee's real-life encounters and rigorous testing over a decade of training, teaching, and fighting. His approach was pragmatic, focusing on what worked in actual combat situations. This philosophy of simplicity and efficiency would later translate to the screen, where Bruce's fight scenes were marked by their brutal realism and visceral impact. He didn't just perform, he embodied a new way of thinking about martial arts, one that would forever change the genre. When Bruce Lee returned to Hong Kong in the early 1970s, he entered a film industry that had been dominated by wuxia films, which portrayed mythical swordsmen and fantastical elements. However, a shift was happening. The foot and fist genre was emerging, and although Bruce Lee didn't start this movement, he became its biggest star. His films, starting with The Big Boss in 1971, revolutionized martial arts cinema. Unlike the choreographed dance-like sequences typical of the time, Bruce's fights were raw, fast, and incredibly powerful. His characters were complex, often driven by personal struggles and a deeper philosophical journey, setting a new standard for storytelling in action films. The realness that he brought to the screen was unmatched. Audiences weren't just watching a fight, they were witnessing the power of Jeet Kune Do in action. Bruce Lee's impact on cinema extended far beyond his films. He introduced martial arts to a global audience, breaking down cultural barriers and inspiring countless imitators. His characters were more than just fighters. They were symbols of resilience, identity, and social justice. Bruce's roles often depicted a struggle between personal ethics and societal expectations, adding a layer of depth that was rarely seen in action movies of the time. His influence can still be seen in modern action films, where fast-paced choreography, complex characters, and philosophical undertones have become the norm. Bruce Lee wasn't just a martial artist. He was a cultural icon whose legacy continues to shape the genre. But as groundbreaking as Bruce Lee's legacy was, his untimely death left a void that the film industry desperately tried to fill, leading to a phenomenon known as Brucesploitation.
And that time after Bruce Lee died, you know, there's so many action movies. There's so many terrible action movies in that time.
The Brucesploitation era was marked by the film industry's desperate attempts to fill the void left by Bruce Lee's untimely death. For those unfamiliar, Brucesploitation refers to the wave of films in the 70s where actors were cast to capitalize on Bruce Lee's image, often with mixed and sometimes laughable results. The demand for new Bruce Lee films was so overwhelming that studios were willing to go to extreme lengths to find anyone who could even remotely fit the mold of the martial arts legend.
That time, everybody know after Bruce Lee died, there's so many Bruce Lee. You know, Bruce Lee, Bruce Table, Bruce Chair, all Bruce.
This desperation led to the emergence of a new wave of films featuring actors who bore a physical resemblance to Bruce Lee or had some tenuous connection to him. These films, however, were often of questionable quality, and the actors involved were frequently thrust into roles that they were ill prepared for. The criteria for casting the next Bruce Lee were primarily based on three factors: physical appearance, martial arts ability, and any connection to Bruce Lee, no matter how slight. The studios were looking for actors who could convincingly mimic Lee's appearance and fighting style, even if they had little to no experience in acting or martial arts. This led to some unusual casting choices, including actors who had only briefly interacted with Bruce Lee or had appeared in minor roles in some of his films. One of the earliest examples of this desperation can be seen in the film Fist of the Unicorn, which Bruce Lee briefly appeared in to support his friend Unicorn Chan. Now, unbeknownst to Bruce, the crew secretly filmed him, and these clips were later used in the actual movie. To further capitalize on Bruce's appearance, a stand-in was hired to make it seem as though Bruce's character was training Unicorn's character, and Bruce was even billed as the fight choreographer and the martial arts instructor. This incident highlights the lengths to which the industry was willing to go to exploit Bruce Lee's image. The industry's desperation extended beyond simply finding actors who looked like Bruce Lee. It also involved casting individuals who had any connection to him. Angela Mao, who played Bruce Lee's sister in Enter the Dragon, was heavily marketed as Bruce Lee's sister in subsequent films, becoming one of the biggest kung fu movie actresses of the time. Similarly, Jim Kelly, who appeared in Enter the Dragon, was marketed as the Black Bruce Lee in several films. Youngza, who played Bolo in Enter the Dragon, went on to star in around 140 films, largely capitalizing on his association with Bruce Lee. This frenzy to find a replacement for Bruce Lee led to the creation of the first actual Brucesploitation film, Bruce Lee Super Dragon, starring Bruce Lee or James Ho Chung Dao. The film was a highly fictionalized biopic that romanticized Bruce Lee's life, but it was poorly received due to its lack of authenticity and quality. Despite this, Bruce Lee went on to star in several more films, with the best known being Bruce Lee, the Man, the Myth, which is still considered one of the better Bruce Lee biopics, even though it was released in 1976, just a few years after Bruce Lee's death. Well, as the Brucesploitation era progressed, the industry continued to churn out films that focus on Bruce Lee's death and the search for his successor. Some of these films were meta in nature, with stories involving a complete nobody who was transformed into a star who pretends to be the next Bruce Lee, only to realize that they were being exploited just as Bruce Lee's name, image, and likeness was being exploited. Other films attempted to create prequels and sequels to Bruce Lee's existing movies, with various actors stepping into the role of Bruce Lee's characters. The desperation to find a new Bruce Lee even led to the inclusion of Sammo Hung, who had shared a fight scene with Bruce Lee in the opening of Enter the Dragon. Sammo, who was a talented fight choreographer at Golden Harvest Studios, was one of the few who could convincingly imitate Bruce Lee's style. The Brucesploitation era ultimately highlighted the film industry's vulnerability to trends and its willingness to compromise quality for commercial gain. And while it provided a temporary financial boost and kept the martial arts genre alive during a challenging time, it also underscored the irreplaceable nature of Bruce Lee. The countless imitators and subpar films that emerged in the wake of his death only served to reinforce the fact that Bruce Lee was a one-of-a-kind icon whose legacy could never truly be replicated.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Don't nobody understand the words that are coming out of your mouth, man.
Well, before Jackie Chan's name became synonymous with innovative action comedy, he was also a young performer trying to find his footing in the shadow of Bruce Lee. Enrolled at the China Drama Academy from a young age, Jackie was immersed in the world of Peking opera, a rigorous training ground that honed his physicality, acrobatics, and stage presence. This training was the bedrock of his future career, instilling in him the discipline and versatility that would later define his unique style. Jackie's early career was a gradual climb through the ranks of the Hong Kong film industry. While still a student at the China Drama Academy, he transitioned from playing minor background roles to becoming a recognized Lung Fu martial artist, or a Kung Fu stuntman, one of the highest accolades for stunt performers at the time. This recognition came while he was still in his teens, marking him as a rising star in the world of martial arts cinema. His first starring role came at the age of 18 in the film The Cub Tiger from Guangdong, also known as Master with Cracked Fingers. However, this project was far from glamorous. The production lacked a script, a budget, and any sense of direction, with Jackie even paying the stunt crew out of his own pocket by the end of filming. It was a tough lesson in the harsh realities of the film industry. Despite these early struggles, Jackie's work as a stuntman in major films like Fist of Fury and Enter the Dragon exposed him to the inner workings of the industry. However, after Bruce Lee's untimely death, the martial arts film industry in Hong Kong faced a significant downturn, leaving Jackie with very few opportunities. Faced with the decline of the Kung Fu genre and the uncertainty of his career, Jackie temporarily left Hong Kong for Australia, where his parents were living for a few months. When Jackie returned to Hong Kong, he sought out work wherever he could find it, eventually reconnecting with his friend Sammo Hung. Sammo, who was working on a Kung Fu film with a young director named John Woo, brought Jackie on board as both an actor and assistant fight director for the film Hand of Death. Though the film did not achieve commercial success, it was a pivotal experience for Jackie. Under Woo's guidance, Jackie began to learn the intricacies of directing, an experience that would be invaluable in his later career. However, the market for martial arts films was still in decline, and Jackie was once again faced with the prospect of leaving the industry. After Hand of Death flopped, Jackie was so broke that it took a substantial loan from his girlfriend at the time for him to have enough money to return to Australia to stay with his parents. In his second stint back in Canberra, he worked various jobs including construction and dishwashing, all the while contemplating his future. It was a challenging period marked by financial hardship and the looming question of whether he should continue pursuing a career in film. It wasn't until a call from Willie Chan, who would later become his longtime manager, that Jackie's fortunes began to change. Willie reintroduced Jackie to Hong Kong director Lo Wei, marking the beginning of a new chapter in his career. These early experiences, ranging from the rigorous discipline of Peking opera to the struggles of making ends meet as a young stuntman, were crucial in shaping Jackie's approach to filmmaking. That call from Willie Chan would be life-changing for Jackie Chan, but you're not going to believe what happened when he returned to Hong Kong.
They invite me back to Hong Kong to make a film, and so hard to make a film. First time I have my own poster. I don't even see my name.
Well, when Jackie Chan returned to Hong Kong, he was thrust into a series of roles that were meant to position him as the next Bruce Lee. Director Lo Wei, determined to capitalize on Bruce Lee's legacy, cast Jackie in films like New Fist of Fury and Shaolin Wooden Men, where he was expected to play serious, brooding anti-heroes driven by revenge. These characters were a stark contrast to Jackie's natural persona, one that was more inclined towards humor, acrobatics, and relatability. Jackie was even given the stage name Xing Lung, meaning becoming the dragon, in a clear attempt to echo Bruce Lee's Xiaolong or Little Dragon moniker. However, Jackie felt an immense discomfort with these roles. They were rigid, one-dimensional, and lacked the nuance that he craved as an actor. In private, Jackie expressed his frustrations to his manager, Willie Chan, lamenting that these roles did not align with his personality. "Nothing about this role spoke to me," Jackie would later recall in his autobiography. "The director wants me to be the next Bruce Lee, but that's not the direction that I want to go in."
Wrong script, wrong character, really.
Jackie Chan's struggle was not just about acting, it was also about the fundamental differences in his training compared to Bruce Lee's. Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do was all about practicality, efficiency, and directness, designed for real combat situations. It was a philosophy born from Bruce's experiences in street fights, sparring, and teaching. In contrast, Jackie's background was in Peking opera, an art form that emphasized stylized theatrical movements, acrobatics, and exaggerated expressions. This training made Jackie a versatile performer, capable of blending martial arts with comedy and drama, but it also meant that his style was more performative than the realistic, no-nonsense approach that Bruce Lee embodied. The industry's attempt to mold Jackie into a Bruce Lee clone overlooked these fundamental differences. Where Bruce's on-screen fights were short, brutal, and to the point, Jackie's natural inclination was towards the longer, more elaborate sequences that incorporated elements of dance and physical comedy. This clash was evident in the films Jackie made under Lo Wei, where his talents were stifled by the need to replicate Bruce Lee's intensity and ferocity. As Jackie himself noted, Bruce Lee always kicked high, but I keep my legs low to the ground. Bruce Lee would scream and roar while fighting, but I prefer to cry out and pull faces to show how much pain I'm in. The films Jackie made during this period, like New Fist of Fury, were not just unsuccessful, they were outright disasters. New Fist of Fury was a box office bomb, and the other films either flopped or were so poorly received that they were never even released. The harsh criticism from both the industry and the public weighed heavily on Jackie. He was labeled as a box office poison, and the constant comparisons to Bruce Lee was a burden that he struggled to shake off.
It's not Chen Long, it's Chen Cong. He will never becoming a dragon, he will only becoming a worm.
These failures were not just professional setbacks, they were deeply personal blows to Jackie's confidence and morale. In one of his lowest moments, Jackie confessed to Willie Chan that the pressure was becoming unbearable. The roles he was being forced into were so misaligned with his strengths that he found himself doubting his place in the film industry. "I'm not suited for this role," he would say. The relentless push to turn him into a Bruce Lee successor was not only hindering his career, but also taking a toll on his spirit. Yet, even in the face of such adversity, Jackie Chan's resilience never wavered. He knew that he had to find a way to break free from this mold if he was ever going to succeed on his own terms. It's tough to imagine the immense pressure Jackie Chan must have felt, being asked to emulate a legend while suppressing his own creative instincts. But it's often through such adversity that true innovation is born. Jackie Chan's career reached a critical turning point with the release of Snake in the Eagle's Shadow in 1978. Directed by Yuen Wu-ping, the film was a stark departure from the roles Jackie had been forced into under Lo Wei. Here, Jackie was given the creative freedom to infuse his natural charisma, humor, and acrobatic skills into the character. The result was a refreshing take on martial arts cinema that showcased Jackie's ability to blend intricate stunts with comedic elements. One of the standout moments in Snake in the Eagle's Shadow is the final showdown, where Jackie's character, utilizing snake-style kung fu, confronts the antagonist. The fluid, snake-like movements combined with Jackie's impeccable comedic timing were unlike anything audiences had seen before. This film didn't just hint at Jackie's potential, it announced his arrival as a force to be reckoned with in the film industry. But it was Drunken Master, released later that same year, that truly solidified Jackie Chan's status as a superstar. The film introduced audiences to the Drunken Fist style, a form of martial arts that required Jackie to perform elaborate, seemingly off-balance movements while maintaining precise control over his actions. The final fight scene, where Jackie seamlessly transitions between drunken stumbling and deadly precision, is often cited as one of the greatest action sequences in cinema history. This innovative blend of slapstick humor and martial arts was groundbreaking, and it set a new standard for the genre. Jackie Chan's success with Snake in the Eagle's Shadow and Drunken Master didn't just mark a personal victory, it redefined the entire martial arts genre. Before Jackie, martial arts films were dominated by serious, intense heroes like Bruce Lee, whose on-screen persona was rooted in philosophical depth and unyielding strength. Bruce Lee's characters were often driven by a deep sense of justice, and his fight scenes were quick, efficient, and brutal, reflecting his Jeet Kune Do philosophy. In contrast, Jackie Chan's approach was lighter and more accessible. He introduced a new type of hero, one who could be both vulnerable and funny, yet still highly skilled in martial arts. Jackie's characters often found themselves in situations where they had to rely on wit and agility as much as their fighting skills. This blend of humor, intricate stunts, and martial arts not only entertained, but also made the genre more relatable to a broader audience. Jackie's films broke the mold that had been established by Bruce Lee, offering a fresh perspective on what martial arts cinema could be. While Bruce Lee's legacy was built on seriousness and philosophical inquiry, Jackie's was built on innovation and entertainment, proving that there was more than one way to captivate an audience. These films didn't just mark Jackie's rise, they paved the way for the action comedy genre, influencing countless films and stars, both in Hong Kong and in Hollywood. The success of Drunken Master was a turning point that signaled Jackie Chan's arrival as a major film star in the global film industry. The film was a massive box office hit, and its success set the stage for Jackie to continue exploring and refining his unique style. Over the next few years, Jackie would go on to star in a series of successful films that solidified his reputation as a master of action comedy. Jackie's distinct path not only allowed him to carve out his own niche in the industry, but also led him to eventually outperform even Bruce Lee's box office numbers. His ability to consistently deliver entertaining, innovative films earned him a loyal fan base worldwide. Jackie's rise to stardom reached another milestone when he signed with Golden Harvest Studios, the same studio that had been home to Bruce Lee. Taking over Bruce Lee's office was more than just a symbolic gesture. It represented Jackie's acceptance as the new face of Hong Kong cinema. However, rather than following in Bruce Lee's footsteps, Jackie had forged his own path, one that was rooted in his unique blend of martial arts, humor, and stunt work. By embracing his strengths and staying true to his vision, Jackie Chan not only survived the challenges of typecasting and early career failures, but also emerged as one of the most beloved and influential figures in martial arts cinema. His legacy, like Bruce Lee's, continues to inspire and entertain audiences around the world. Well, here's a good quote to take away from all of this. Success doesn't come from imitation, but from innovation. And it's funny that Jackie Chan's failure to become the next Bruce Lee led to his big breakthrough where he found his own way to express himself. So in that other video that said that Jackie Chan refused Bruce Lee's fighting style, it's not quite true, because Jackie Chan found his success through embodying Bruce Lee's fighting philosophy. And that just might be the truest expression of Jeet Kune Do that there is. So both Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee have taught us the importance of staying true to yourself and carving out your own path to achieve greatness. Well, what do you think about the different paths that Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee took to achieve success? I'd love to hear your thoughts on the different paths these legends took. So drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're new here, hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a deep dive into martial arts history. Also, if you want to hear more interesting stories about Bruce Lee, be sure to check out the story about Bruce Lee's feud with a karate master in Seattle, or you can check out the unbelievable story about what Bruce Lee did to a stuntman on the set of his friend's movie. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this deep dive into Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, and I hope you guys keep training, remember to breathe, and come back to see me on the next video.